Hi. Do you believe in past lives? Some people think it's total fantasy, and yet there seems to be a lot of anecdotal evidence that it gives it some credence. For example, there's the case of an English girl. I think she was about 3 years of age, and when her parents drove past a cemetery, she would point to the cemetery and say something to the effect, I come from there. On further discussion, she told her parents that she was buried in a coffin with her favourite doll in that cemetery. Now, this got the parents thinking, because a year before the little girl was born, their previous child had died and was buried in that cemetery. And take note of this. The parents had initially put the child's doll in the coffin, but then removed it. However, the grandmother, unbeknownst to the parents, had secretly put the doll back in the coffin. So the parents went back to the cemetery and exhumed the coffin, and lo and behold, the doll was in the coffin. Now, there are many stories like this, but what I think most people want is empirical evidence for themselves. And that's where I come in. I'll show Zen Sannyas, a seeker of truth, and some years ago I developed a simple procedure to explore my past lives. I wrote out the procedure and put it into an online course on my website. And what I think makes my past life regression course different to other past life regression methods is that you can do this sitting at your dinner table with your eyes open, just like this. So you don't need anyone to put you into hypnotic trance, and all that fancy eye closure stuff. The first step is to set up a communication system with your unconscious mind using idiomotor signals and a pendulum. The second step is to elicit your NLP timeline and then get some practice floating back and forth over your timeline. That is, floating back over the past and floating out over the future. Then you need to learn how to step into a memory and then step back out of the memory so you don't get stuck in it. The next step is explore the period of your birth. So the day before your birth, an hour before your birth, the actual birthing experience, then the day afterwards. And once you have these skills, then you're ready to explore your past life memories in a sequential fashion. So you go back to your previous life and then the one before that, and so on and so on. In addition, you should also map out the time you spent as a disembodied consciousness between each life. So you can actually map out the dates of birth and death. You can learn about the part of the world where you lived, your occupation, your passions and interests, your gender, and any other significant events that may have had an impact upon this one. In many cases, I think we bring our passions, interests, and talents from a previous life into this one. So if you want to learn how to explore your past life memories, then take a look at my online course. The details are below the video. And if you have any past life stories that you would like to share, then feel free to comment below the video. I would love to hear about them.